In this video, we are going over the benefits of semen retention. Now, I want to get right into this because I know this can be a bit of a controversial topic, a bit of a taboo one. But again, this channel is about improving yourself. This channel is about living a fulfilling life. And I think giving you all the tools possible to help you do that is really my job with this channel. So if I was to shy away from topics that may be a bit controversial, might be a bit taboo, some people may not like, while others may get a lot out of, I think it is my duty in a way to present those ideas to you. Now, a lot of you may have heard the concept of semen retention, or you've heard of things like NoFap, the NoFap community, which basically means you abstain, you don't masturbate for an extended period of time, if not for, the idea being for a very, very long time, sometimes forever. But with semen retention, this goes beyond just the idea of masturbation, because now we're talking about any kind of ejaculation in any form, which includes anything that would result from sexual encounters or having any kind of sex that you can imagine. That's a weird way of phrasing that. But anyway, that's what semen retention is implying here, that you're going to retain your semen. Now, that's the general concept here, but why is this so effective? Why is this something that you see all over the internet right now? Why is it now when you research this topic, you find a lot of famous, successful athletes, famous, successful inventors, people of that nature who actually practiced semen retention? Well, it's actually very, very, very simple. And I'm really gonna try and break it down into terms that make it very easy to understand. You see, semen is one of the most essential components of ourselves, of what makes us who we are. Think about it, half of who you are came out of semen fertilizing an egg. It's half of the DNA, it's half of the life force needed to create you and me and everyone you see and a lot of other creatures you see on the planet as well. And so the idea is that takes a lot of energy, a lot of life force in order for that to happen. And so the idea is within your semen, you have a lot of life force, or you can just think of this as energy. And so when you're just expelling that energy out of your body, when you're just releasing it everywhere for some people, you are expelling a lot of energy. Have you ever, after you've ejaculated, felt really low energy, very tired? For a lot of us guys, the stereotypical thing is after we have sex, we just fall asleep. Well, that's actually pretty understandable, because if you're releasing that much energy, if you're releasing what is considered really your life force, the thing that allows you to actually create another life, that's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy to be released. And so if you're masturbating all the time and you feel tired, that's the reason, because you're releasing something that has an incredible amount of energy infused into it. So that's the general idea here and why this practice can be so beneficial. Now, one other thing you have to understand, because a lot of times when I maybe discuss this with someone, they tell me that, well, don't you just recreate semen? Your body is designed to create more of it. So what's the issue with ejaculating, releasing it? Basically, people's justification to be able to masturbate 3 times a day. But the point or why that's not very efficient, why that's not going to help you in your everyday life, and actually it's going to hurt you, is because if you think about it, what is your biological imperative? What is, from just a biological standpoint, we're not talking about higher consciousness or about maybe your decisions on a day-to-day basis, but the animal part of us, when we look at just our animalistic behavior and instincts, what do you think the main thing our bodies want us to do? What is the main importance put on? It is your ability to procreate. And you can see that in nature with creatures that may not have as much consciousness or don't think on that level. They don't think at our level, of consciousness. And so really their main biological imperative is to procreate, and that's really their main job. And so for you, from a biological level, it's yours as well. And so when you are continually releasing, your body is now going to essentially be like, okay, we need to replenish this quickly so we're ready for the next time that we will potentially procreate. Because that's what your body thinks you're doing when you're releasing and you're ejaculating. It doesn't think you're doing it into a sock or a napkin, if that's what you're doing it into. It thinks that you're right now trying to create life. And so again, you're going to have that release of energy. You're going to be tired because now your body needs to recreate that seed. It needs to recreate that energy. And again, to do so takes a lot of energy. And this is going back to why you feel so low energy after you do that, after sex, after all that. So what does this mean? Does this mean you can never have sex again? Does this mean you can't even masturbate, whatever it is? Not necessarily. There are ways to do these things without ejaculating. And again, ejaculating, every now and then isn't necessarily a bad thing. Just understand what the repercussions of that are. For example, you do it every month, I would say you're probably okay. But if you're doing it 3 times a day or every day, you probably want to dial that back a little bit. And I've noticed in myself, when I've gone periods of time without doing it at all, my energy is just significantly higher. Like, it's a huge difference. If you've never done this before, if you've never gone a certain amount of time without ejaculating, without holding your semen, you won't know this, but once you go for about 30 days and you haven't, you'll suddenly have a contrast. You'll be able to compare that to when you were all the time versus when you didn't. And unless you have both of those experiences, you won't know the difference. But I can tell you, going an extended period of time of not doing this, of not ejaculating, of actually practicing semen retention, you will notice some incredible benefits, again, which are plastered throughout the internet. For me, the biggest one is, or 2 biggest ones I'm going to give you, is an increase in energy. And I believe the increase in energy leads to an increase in confidence. If you've ever been low energy, even if you're a typically confident person, you might notice you're a little less confident than you would be normally. You're low energy. You don't want to deal with the outside world. You don't want to do anything. You just want to go and masturbate again, or you want to go and browse on the internet, or you want to do pretty much low energy things, right? Those are the days when you find yourself on Netflix or YouTube a little too long, right? Where on days where you've maybe had a run of not doing this, of actually practicing semen retention, you're like, wow, I got a lot done. I had so much energy. I worked out. I did my, maybe you have your own business like I do, and I did a lot. Maybe for me, I made a lot of videos, and I did my spiritual practices that I wanted to do, and I did my workout and whatever else it is. And so these can be the benefits of actually practicing semen retention, and why I would encourage you to at least try it. It's just something to try if you haven't tried it already. Now, for some of you, you may have. You're in this video and you're on a run already. You've gone 30, 60, maybe some people have gone years, and they know the benefits. And if you are someone who has gone a very long time already practicing semen retention, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, encouraging people maybe who haven't tried it, so they don't just take my word for it and the words of incredibly successful people you guys can look up that have done this or did do this to great results. I would love to have you guys also encourage newcomers, people who have never tried this, down below, letting us know your results, letting us know the benefits you've noticed outside of just the ones I've given, which for me have been an increase in energy, increase in confidence, things of that nature. There's plenty of other things as well, but I would love to hear from some other guys who have been doing this, who have noticed incredible things. So for those of you who haven't tried it, you can start off small, just aim for a week. And once you hit that week, aim for 15 days and aim for a month. And, if you break it, you actually do have a day where you break the chain, so to speak. Just get right back up and go again. That's all there is to it. The most dangerous thing I'll tell you when it comes to NoFap, when it comes to semen retention, is a lot of people will be able to go a week, they'll be able to go maybe 15 days, and then they cheat, they break the chain, and then they go into a spiral where they're doing it every day again. Oh, they're releasing every single day. The important thing with this, guys, is also not to bring this element of guilt into it. That kind of goes against the whole idea here. It's to, if you have a day where you're struggling, you do it, whatever, you just get right back up on it. You just go back in it and you start over. You don't go into a negative spiral where you're now like, screw it, I've already broken the seal, so to speak, so let's just keep going. Anyway, I would really encourage you to give it a shot. I've made a video on this for athletes as well, why I think specifically if you're an athlete, you should definitely be using this practice to enhance your performance as an athlete, and I'll link that video down below. And the great thing with that video is, because it was designed to attract athletes to it, there are some athletes who have given their experience towards athletics doing semen retention in the comments, which I found was very beneficial, to be like, okay, so here we go. There was one guy who was talking about boxing. I think one guy was talking about basketball, and the benefits they saw from using semen retention and how it played out in their sports. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully this wasn't all over the place. I just tried to do this ad lib. I just tried to do this in flow. So hopefully that all makes sense and all came together nicely. If not, leave your comments down below and I'll try and explain some things, as I'm sure some other guys will, because as you'll probably soon realize, this kind of community, no-fap semen retention type community, has a very strong supportive community. So hopefully there will be guys down there that can also answer some of your questions. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this one. As always, I love you. I want to see you being the best version of yourself that you can be, and I'll see you in the next video.